Yo, buddy, it's Guilty here, and welcome to my unboxing review of the SH Figuarts Bleach 1000-Year Blood War Toshiro Hitsugaya. So, this review may be a little bit more laid back than usual, though honestly I can't even tell because I watch like videos of mine that you guys say I'm like super duper crazy in, or like you guys comment and make jokes about how freaking fast I talk and how energetic I am, and I watch it and I'm like, dude, this is like 3 times less energetic than most of my videos. So I don't even know how to scale that at this point, so I don't know if this is going to be more laid back than usual, but for me it'll be a little bit more laid back than usual. But I'm very excited for this figure. Now, I know that I have not uploaded the review of Kenpachi yet. I did record it, but I kind of want to give it another try because I think I can do a little bit better for his review. So we're gonna wait a little bit on him. And I got Toshiro in the mail, and I just looked up and found that nobody has reviewed him yet. So I figured I would go ahead and get my review out there because I'm actually very excited for this figure. Yeah, I think this has the potential to be one of my favorites of the line because if you see in the box there, he's a lot smaller than the other figures. And one issue I've had with the Bleach figures is that they're very big and clunky, especially with Kenpachi here. Like, he is so goddamn big. So this being the exact opposite, he's a lot smaller because obviously Toshiro is a kid. So I think he might actually be one of my favorites of the line. I think he's going to be a lot more satisfying to pose around, but you will only find that out when we actually open him up here. So I'm very excited about him. He looks very cool. And without further ado, let's jump into the review and start off by taking a look at the packaging here. So on the front, we have a nice picture of Toshiro right there. Toshiro Hitsugaya. We have Bandai Tamashii Nations Bleach period. Give me Black Clover figures. We have Bandai Tamashii Nations right there on the bottom. We have SH Figuarts Toshiro Hitsugaya. A nice picture of him right there. And then we have an awesome picture of him on the back there. And then we have a bunch of product shots on the back here with him and Hyorimaru, which, as you can see, there is one thing that this figure does not include that we are going to talk about. And if you are a Bleach fan, I'm sure you can totally spot what I'm talking about, but we'll talk about it in the video. And there's also a nice picture of him on the side right there, which looks really cool. All right, and that's going to do it for the looking at the box. Let's go ahead and get Hitsugaya out of here. The captain of, I want to say squad 13, maybe 12? One of those. That's my guess. Alright, let's go ahead and pick up Hitsugaya together here. Look how small he is. Look how freaking small he is. Oh my god, he is so tiny. Okay, seriously, he's so tiny. Like, right off the bat here, look at him with Figma Rimuru. Look how freaking small he is, dude. Oh my god, he's so tiny. Look at him with Kenpachi. He's like, literally like, the Kenpachi's literally like twice the size. Holy moly. Okay, I knew he was going to be smaller because, you know, Hitsugaya is a kid, but oh my god, I did not think he was going to be this much smaller. Now, does him being smaller have an effect on his quality, man? This feels so damn fun. This is so fun. He's so freaking tiny. Oh my god. Like, you guys are going to be so surprised when you actually get him in hand. He is so effing small. It's like you have freaking, like you have Byakuya here, and then just like shrunk down his entire thing. Like, I've been posing the shit out of Byakuya. So you get Toshiro, and it's literally just like a tinier version of him. Wow, that's really cool. Alright, let's jump in here on the sculpt right here. The head sculpt looks really good. Got his nice blue eyes right there. His hair is pretty well done. I think his hair is a little bit more toned back in this 1000-Year Blood War design, but it still looks pretty darn cool. Although I'm sure most people would have probably preferred the old hair, just like with all the other captains as well. But it's fine. Hey, at least we got the character right. And then you have his scarf right there, which looks great. And it's just a little floating piece right there. You could probably take it off if you wanted to. Just pop off the head sculpt and probably come right off. And then moving down here, I mean, he's just a tinier version of like Byakuya. Like, he's got his captain robe right there, his Soul Reaper outfit right there, and yeah, it's just a super tiny version of like the other figures in the line. It's kind of trippy, man. Like, it really does feel like a shrunken down version of those other figures. Now, does that make him more satisfying to pose? I mean, I feel like that's obvious, right? Like, he's so much smaller. These pieces are gonna get so much less in the way just because there's so much less to actually move there. Like, wow, this is so damn trippy because I've been having so much trouble making like Kenpachi and Byakuya actually look really badass on the shelf because of how, you know, clunky they are. They have all this like crazy stuff in the leg section. But Hitsugaya here is just so freaking tiny. He's so small. I love it, man. That is just so freaking fun. So yeah, right off the bat, I really like how he turned out here. You can see the turquoise right there in his cape right there, as opposed to the other captains, which you can see Kenpachi here. He has that big old purple right there in the cape. This is crazy, man. This is really fun. But yeah, really like that. But of course, the Soul Reaper outfit is exactly the same as on Renji and Byakuya and Kenpachi as well. Although, no, Kenpachi actually does have a little bit of new sculpting right there in him. Gotta definitely review him as well. But yeah, I'm really liking Toshiro. This is not at all what I was expecting. I did not think he was gonna be like this much smaller than all the other figures. He literally just feels like a whole new scale. But of course, it totally makes sense because Toshiro is a kid, right? I'm pretty sure he's a kid. It's been a long time since I watched the original Bleach, of course. So I don't know 100%. I can't remember 100% what age he is, but I think he is a kid. But yeah, he looks really great. And then of course the captain's robe right there. There's his little thing right there. Since he is a kid, I think it would make sense that he's like 13 or 12, like the squad that he's on. I'm pretty sure it's either 12 or 13. That's my guess personally. Or maybe it was 10. Oh no, I think 10 was Mayuri. I can't freaking remember. Very cool though. Like, first impressions are super duper fun. He's just a super tiny version of the other figures, and it's pretty freaking cool. All right, now for comparison, let's first just start off by bringing in the other captains right there. So there is Zaraki, who is literally twice the size of him, and there is Byakuya, and there is all three of our captains so far, and Toshiro is the last announced unique character in the line. We do also have the Duel Zangetsu Ichigo coming out, but that's the last figure in the line. But yeah, so there's no more captains announced, and honestly, I would prefer them to move away from captains. I would like some other Soul Reaper characters, or maybe some standard characters like from the you know like the original gang, of course. But still, really cool that you got three captains right here, and definitely like three absolute fan favorite characters. I mean, we got my favorite character here. Toshiro would probably be in my favorites as well. It's been a long time since I watched Bleach. I can't like remember any specific like super standout moments of Toshiro. I just remember him being an absolute bro, just like the broest bro to ever bro a bro. But now to complete the group shot here, let's bring in Renji right there. And lastly, of course, the man himself. He needs no introductions. There is Ichigo. And there we go. There is our entire Bleach lineup so far. And yeah, this is really cool. It's really cool that we got like different sized characters. That we got Toshiro, who's super tiny, and Zaraki over here, who's absolutely giant, and then Byakuya and Renji over here that are good size as well, and Ichigo. Like all their sizes are so different, and it just looks so complete. Honestly, man, putting Toshiro in there, like, I had these four figures displayed, and I was like, yeah, they look really cool. But when I had Toshiro into this, oh my god, dude, just that extra little bit of, like, size differentiation in there, in that display, oh my god, that actually adds so much. This actually looks so much more complete than it did before, just from adding him in there. Yeah, they look absolutely terrific. Most of the figures have been discounted. Obviously, Zaraki and Toshiro basically just came out, so they might go on sale in the future, but Zaraki was actually pretty popular, and I think Toshiro might actually end up being pretty popular as well, because they're just so much more, like, I don't want to say they're different, of course, because honestly, they're from, like, the neck down, they're pretty much all the same figures. At least the Soul Reapers are, or the captains are, but it just feels like such a different experience. So I do feel like since Zaraki was popular, I do think Toshiro might be popular as well. But, you know, I'm just one person. Maybe you want to wait and see if you can get them on sale just like you could with Byakuya, Renji, and Ichigo. But we'll discuss that more at the end of the video. My current opinion on Hitsugaya is very positive. I really like this figure. For another comparison, here he is with the brand new SH Figuarts Minato Namikaze, and you can see once again how much smaller Hitsugaya is compared to like every single other character. It's so crazy, man. It's so trippy, and I love it. Here is also the SH Figuarts Mina Ashiro from Kaiju number 8, because this is currently my #1 SH Figuarts release of the year. So, yeah, this is what you're trying to beat, Hitsugaya. And for one more comparison, just because I want to show this off, here is the SH Figuarts Yuta Okotu with my new custom Culling Games head sculpt on from the Toy Spot on eBay. How freaking cool is that, man? I love it. Alrighty, it is accessory time. Currently, I am loving the figure. Let's see if the accessories can make me love him even more. Starting out with the faces, of course, you've got your typical stoic face in the packaging right there, looking fantastic. And then we get an angry face right here. I have vague memories of him fighting Aizen, so if they ever make an Aizen, this will definitely come in handy. Very, very cool. And then we have a nice kind of pissed and looking to the side face right there, also looking really, really nice. Oh yeah, this one's gonna get a lot of use on my display. And then we have a very nice screaming Hyorimaru face right there. Very, very cool. Unfortunately, you don't get the other part of that. We'll talk about that in just a second here. Very, very, very nice, though. And lastly, and last but not least, just like all the other figures in the line except for Kenpachi, you get an oh shit face. The Quincy's are attacking. And yeah, you would think they would probably have made like some Quincy characters, at least the main bad guy, but still nothing. Nope. And for alternate hands, of course, you get fists on in the packaging, and you get a pair of splayed out hands, a pair of hands for holding Hyorimaru, and another hand that looks like it's meant to hold on to, actually, I don't know, give me a second. I figured it out. It's a hand that allows him to draw Hyorimaru out of the scabbard in his back. And with that, let's go ahead and bring in Hyorimaru. All right, so we've got some things to praise about Hyorimaru and some things to talk about where Bandai Tamashii Nation's kind of skimped. So we get Hyorimaru in the scabbard right here, and this is very, very cool. And of course, this is super unique to Hitsugaya because of course the others all had their Zanpakuto in the sheath on the side here. So he is the only one that actually has it on a scabbard that's gonna go on his back right there, which is very, 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 very cool. And then here is the unsheathed Hyorimaru right here. You can see they did a great job on the hilt right there, but you're probably wondering, what about the chain on the handle right there? Yeah, he doesn't include a Shikai one. Just like every single other one of the Soul Reapers included at least the Shikai, but unfortunately not Hitsugaya here. Which honestly, I think is kind of hard to excuse because of how much smaller Hitsugaya is compared to the other figures. I feel like there was plenty of budget to add the chain on there or give us a second Hyorimaru with the chain, especially when you have Ichigo here who also has the chain on the end of his Zanpakuto there. So yeah, I don't know why they decided not to give us a Shikai Hyorimaru. That is pretty damn disappointing. But talking about how we actually use these accessories here, I imagine it's probably just imagine of getting that on, getting that over his head right there, and you got to get it over his scarf right there as well, which is definitely going to help keep it in place very, very nicely. Pop his head back on right there. His head goes on super duper easily, which means it probably comes off super easily as well, but no, it seems to go on pretty well. And you can see the addition of the scabbard right there really, really helps complete the look of the figure. That looks really, 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 really good. Is that on right? I just want to make sure it's on right. It might actually be on wrong. Hang on. I think it is on wrong. Although, I mean, you can put it on like that if you want to, but yeah, it is on wrong. It's supposed to go on the other arm right here. So yeah, just pop that off. But you can put it on that way. It doesn't look bad at all, but it is meant to go on this arm. So loop it through there, loop it around there, around there. Oh yeah, I think it sits a little bit better over there because it's meant to go over there, and pop the head back on right there. And there you go. There he is with Hyorimaru right there. And again, really completes the look. I really think that was a necessary addition to really make it feel like Hitsugaya right there. You got the scarf, you got that little scabbard right there, and the little jewel in the middle right there. Yeah, that really, really completes the look. The scarf kind of gets stuck on the little knot right there on the belt, so you want to get that over so it lays a lot more naturally right there. And then, of course, when you want to have him holding Hyorimaru, like I said, you do get this hand right here if you want to have him like drawing it out of the sheath right there, so you can pose him drawing it out, which is very, very cool. But if you want to have him holding it, of course, you got to swap out your hands, which should be pretty self-explanatory. Just pop off the hands. It's your typical Figuarts with the ball joint right there. I remember I didn't go over the articulation, but it's literally the exact same as all of the other Bleach figures. You've got the 90-degree bend right there in the knee right there, literally the exact same amount, and the 90-degree bend at the arms right there. Yeah, if you have any of the Bleach figures, any of the captains, then you will know the articulation on this. It's exactly the same. Let's see about the torso joint. Actually, he might get a little bit more torso movement than the others. Actually, yeah, he definitely gets a little bit more torso movement right there. And of course, these are also on hinges as well. This one is so much more fun to pose, man. I love how tiny he is, man. Don't worry, I know what I'm gonna do at the end of this video to tell you about how I feel about each release. And I'm sure that just gave away what my plan is, but you can just pop the sheath, the Hyorimaru hilt out of the scabbard right there, bring this in, and I think you can actually detach this? I thought you could. Nope, for this one, it doesn't detach. It does detach on Zaraki, so that is something I wanted to say. But yeah, this one doesn't detach. You just slip it into his hand right there, but it goes right in, so no big deal. And there you go. And if you want to switch out the faces, let's see here. Do we have yep, we just have a typical fringe setup right here. Just pop off the face right there. Bring in whichever face you want to change it to and pop that on right there and pop the fringe back on. There we go. Much easier to change than Zaraki. Definitely a downside of not having reviewed Zaraki yet is you don't know what I'm talking about. And there you go. And I am really bad at posing Bleach figures, man. I do not know how to pose these freaking things. I'm trying my best here. But yeah, this is a much more satisfying experience to pose this figure than Byakuya, than Zaraki. There's just so much less stuff. And because of how small it is, it's a lot more satisfying. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan. There we go, much better pose right here. Yeah, I'm much better at the kind of more standard, stock still poses than I am with dynamic action poses. If you give me like 3 hours, I can get you a pretty sweet dynamic action pose. But yeah, for the most part, this is my forte. But yeah, I think that's everything to go over here. I think we can jump into the final thoughts, which this is gonna be a bit of an interesting final thought segment. So let's jump into it. Alrighty, so for the final thoughts on the SH Figuarts Bleach 1000-Year Blood War Toshiro Hitsugaya, I have decided that I'm going to rank all 5 of the Bleach figures from my least favorite to my favorite, and then I'm also going to rank them again based on which ones I think are the worst to the best overall in objective quality. So subjective ranking first, and then objective ranking second. So subjective ranking based off of how much I like the characters and how much I enjoy posing their figures, a combination of those two things. If I were to rank them, my least favorite unfortunately would have to be Ichigo. It has nothing to do with character bias or anything. Since watching the 1000-Year Blood War, I've actually learned that Ichigo is a pretty fantastic protagonist. So yeah, but Ichigo, there's no articulation in the sculpt section down here. So it's really, really difficult to pose him from below here. Up top, he's a joy to pose because he actually has double jointed elbows. Zangetsu is great. The faces are great. The fact that the faces pop off is another issue though, but it's just the fact that the Bankai skirts are totally molded in place that you can't move them around at all really makes posing him a chore. And that's the same reason that I gotta say my number 4 spot is gonna have to be Zaraki, because he is the only one of the captains. He's just so clunky, and the joints, it would have been way better if I had reviewed Zaraki before posting Hitsugaya's review here, but his joints are a little looser because he's just way, way, way bigger. He's way beefier, so the bottom section is even more clunky than it is on Byakuya, where I already think it's very, very clunky. And since he's so big and so heavy, the legs are a lot looser on him, making him way less satisfying to pose, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people say that he is their favorite of the line, so do take that into consideration as well. Again, this is just the subjective ranking right now. So 5 is Ichigo, 4 is Zaraki. Next up, subjective ranking. Oh man, it's between Hitsugaya and Renji, because obviously Byakuya is my number 1 subjective, because Byakuya is my favorite character. So, who is number 2 and who is number 1? I gotta say, personally, the number 3 is gonna be Hitsugaya. I definitely really enjoy posing him, but he does still have the leg stuff down here that does still make it a little bit more challenging to pose him than Renji. One reason I really love posing Renji is that there's nothing in the way of the legs right here, so it's really easy to get him in great poses holding onto the sheath right here. Obviously, it's easy to get the legs in great poses as well, and then Zabimaru as well is just has such a presence on the shelf as well. So yeah, personally, I didn't even realize it's literally in the order right here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was almost in the order right there. But yeah, that is my subjective ranking. Now, for the objective quality ranking, number 5, again, I think it's got to be Ichigo. The fact that the faces fall off so easily is just really annoying. Hopefully, the new one will be a lot better. Number 4, I'd actually say Byakuya is worse than Zaraki because obviously Byakuya is my number 1 subjectively because he's my favorite character, but I think he has a little bit more of a presence on the shelf than Byakuya does. Plus, Byakuya has that default face that's really, really, really bad. So yeah, I'd actually say number 4 is Byakuya in the objective ranking. Then I would say it's Zaraki because of the loose joints in the legs. Then I would say Toshiro because he is definitely way more satisfying because of how much smaller he is. Joints are a lot tighter, and he has really, really good accessories. And then definitely number 1 in objective quality, in my opinion, is absolutely Renji. Renji is just fantastic. I love Renji. He's by far the one I have posed the absolute most. So yeah, that's my ranking. And with that being said, my final thoughts on Toshiro Hitsugaya. I think he's fantastic. And honestly, if you are full on to the line, if you've gotten all 4 of the previous ones, then you gotta get him. You absolutely gotta get him because trust me, your display might look a little bit dull right now. I know I thought that about the display when I just had these 4 characters, but as soon as you get Hitsugaya in there, it comes to life. Like, look at this. I'll take him out for a second. See? This just looks kind of boring, but you put him in there and boom, it just springs to life. It looks so much better when you add him in there. So yeah, I think if you're collecting the line, he's obviously a must-have. He is a fan favorite character, so that's another reason why he's a must-have. But I do think he's definitely one of the more fun figures in the line personally. But yeah, my final grade for Hitsugaya, let's see here. We gave him an S because he's my favorite character, but objectively, he's like an A. I would say he's an S. I love that figure a lot. Ichigo, he's an A, and I'd say Zaraki is like an A- personally. No, we'll stake an A. S because he's my favorite, but he's still A. So A. I'll say Renji's an S. Hitsugaya, I think we'll say A+ on him. I think he's a little bit better than the A's, but not like super much to the point that I think he pushes all the way into the S. It might have been an S if they included a Shikai version of Hyorimaru, but since they kind of cheaped out on Hyorimaru, only gave you the standard sword right there, I think it's gonna have to stick at an A+ right there. That definitely could have pushed it over though. That definitely could have, so missed opportunity there, Bandai. But yeah, I think he's great, honestly. I think he is pretty darn great. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a ton of fun to pose, man. And I'm really happy to have another one of these figures that I actually want to pick up and pose constantly. That's way fun because before I would literally just little bit of touch. I would like mess with Byakuya every now and then, but Renji, oh my god, he was on my nightstand for like a week straight, man. He was so fun to pose. So yeah. There you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know this one was kind of a long one. Hopefully Zaraki's will be a little bit shorter to finish out the playlist right here. At least for now, I definitely hope the line is not dead. That would be awesome to get more characters. But yeah, and of course there is the Dual Zangetsu Ichigo. Still haven't decided if I'm going to pick that one up though. Still haven't decided. I haven't gotten to that part in the series yet, so we will see. But yeah. Very, very, very cool figures. If you love the series, I definitely think you're going to be pretty damn happy with these. And if the line is dead, you have to take a second, step back, and realize that even if the line is dead, you got 5 of the best characters in the show. 5 pretty awesome figures of 5 of the best characters in the show. That's more than a lot of shows get. So even if it is the end, even if it is dead, which honestly I don't think it is. Personally, in my opinion, I don't think the line is dead. I think they're just slowing down a little. There is another core of the anime coming out, so maybe they're waiting for that to come back to bring it back. So I personally don't think the line is dead, at least not yet. But if it is, you know, you got to take the wins. What you got 5 awesome characters, 5 awesome figures, man. So I give it 2 thumbs up. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and this is DK Guillotine, signing out.